Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and don't worry, I did not forget about this. For anybody who's watching this here, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I did put out a kind of call to action, so to speak, several weeks ago here on the channel. If you missed it, don't worry, it was kind of easy to miss, I'm sure, but I ended up putting in the community tab just a simple thing, thanking people for 200,000 subscribers here on the channel and saying, you know what, I'm going to do a Q&A. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them here and I'll answer them. So it's going to be as simple as that. Now, thankfully, there was like, I would say a good amount of like healthy, good questions on there. There wasn't just like two questions, which would have been kind of disappointing, but there also wasn't just like an absolute flood of questions. So it was like a moderate amount of questions that I was happy with, and I think part of it is also visibility. If I wanted to get a ton of questions, I probably could have posted this all over like Twitter, Discord, Instagram, all made a video about it as well too. But I kind of wanted to keep it, a little bit low key, just because I felt, we'll go with quality here, I suppose, not quantity overall. So if you're one of those people that you missed the post on this, I apologize about that. But I did keep it up for, several weeks. It's still there, and we're going to be referencing it. We're just going to be doing this low-key overall here. I'm on camera. I got my dog, Lily. Lily is... She is licking her paws. She is there in the background. And if this set here, everything looks familiar, I'm doing this right after the last episode of Mod Chat. I didn't want to change up anything because I was like, I'm sure, I guess in a good way, there's probably going to be an audience difference on there. I'm pretty sure most people who are watching Mod Chat probably aren't going to watch this Q&A type session, so we're just going to keep it casual overall. We're not going to be doing too much here visually, so even if you want to kind of minimize this, keep it over to the side, whatever it is. Before we get into this, though, I do want to say, seriously, thank you. Thank you so much. I always tell people when they say, like, I deserve more subs. I'm like, no. I have more than I ever expected. I remember thinking like the big goal I really wanted, like sub wise, was like 1,000 subscribers. That would have been so cool. And I ended up hitting that. It took me about a year to hit it. When I started really doing the YouTube thing, I hit 1,000 subscribers. That was super cool. Did 2,000, then 5,000, then 10,000. That was like when it seemed to be kind of realistic. It's like, oh, we started getting there, and then I didn't really I wasn't really trying to gun after any specific goal. Even when I got 100,000 subscribers, I did celebrate that on here, but I didn't even try to like look forward to that in a way. I shouldn't even say like gun after that. I didn't even try to look forward to it until it got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm at like 90,000 right now. Like, it'd be kind of hard to not hit it, because it's very much a thing where I'm also aware kind of the viewership of the channel as well too. It's a lot of people who will come to the channel, they'll get what they need, and many of them might not even subscribe, which is fine. I've never really cared about the subscriber number itself. I know it seems kind of contradictory here where I'm doing, like a 200,000 subscriber question answer celebration type thing. I've done other milestones before. It's good to celebrate milestones in that regard, but it's never been a thing of like, oh, I need to grow and grow and grow. It's like, no, honestly, if the channel just like if it just like stopped growing, if there was like no more subscriber growth at this point, like I would be more than happy. I'd be like, I accomplished way more than whatever happened on there. But either way, it's been crazy to see. Thank you. You all have, if you've seen any of my videos ever, I think I've asked for subscribers. I've asked people to subscribe in like 2 videos. And only one of them I can think of. I ask for likes, sure, likes or dislikes, just because that does help the video itself. But for the subscriber thing, I've never really been on that overall, I guess. So thank you. Seriously, it's really appreciated. What I'm gonna do, kind of keeping in the style of keeping this really casual. I got my phone right here. I'm going to be just pulling up these questions, so I need to pull up the post itself. You'd think I would have done that beforehand, but obviously I didn't, so Let's do this here. Let's go ahead and run through this. I'm just sorting this from the top post downwards, but I am going to hit all of them because there's not too many questions on here, thankfully, so we got time for it. So Mohammed was asking, what's your favorite console in terms of game library, and what's your favorite console in terms of modding homebrew scene? Congrats on the 200K. It's very well deserved. Well, thank you. Oh my goodness. First of all, game library. I'm going to answer the second one first. Let's go, if we're talking modding and homebrew scene, it probably has to be the PSP for me. I absolutely loved PSP modding. I also have a special affinity to it because that's really what got me into this. It's not the first system I modded, mind you. It's not the first thing I modded, but it is definitely the thing that just made me go into the deep end on modding here. Just PSP custom firmware. I still have such an affinity for the PSP, and there will be times where I'll just like go through a cycle or a season, I guess you can say, where I'll have a PSP and I'll just be using that as my main device for several weeks, and then I put it down. But that's kind of how it goes for me. When it comes to favorite console in terms of game library, I'm really thinking, for some reason I am just, even if I don't want to admit it, I for whatever reason, it's the PS1. Like, I'm not, I think it's kind of a nostalgic thing for me personally, but it's always, even though you could say, yeah, the PS2 has more games, technically better games as well. There's even been, obviously, all these other consoles that we've had afterwards, but the PS1 just has so many games that I thoroughly enjoy on there. It's got just like a lot of the classic series, like even Resident Evil, just even one-off series as well too. Like, this is not a series, it should be a series. This one should be a series. Legend of Dragoon. Why the hell is it that we got one Legend of Dragoon game and then never again? That is like the one original RPG, not like the one of the big original RPGs that came out then that everyone seems to really like. Everyone seems to really enjoy. I've never heard a bad thing about it, and it gets no attention somehow. I also really, really wanted a PS1 back in the day as well, so it's been cool to, when I had it then, I guess after its heyday, I was picking up a lot of games for cheap on it. Even when I mess with emulators and stuff, one of the first things I really like is having my PS1 games on there. So probably original PlayStation for me. I kind of surprised myself on that, I guess. Come on, unlock. There we go. So next up from Pablo. I say that because they have a question mark in their name. Congrats, man. It's a well-deserved achievement. You got it. Well, thank you. I first found out about the channel while modding my PS3, and I really like the content. Also, your tutorial videos are easy to keep up with and aren't so complicated. That's why I really like them. So thanks for that. Well, you're welcome, sir. For my Q&A question, what, in your opinion, is the best budget handheld to have in 2023 for emulation purposes and also for its library? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, man, I am the wrong person to ask about this, unfortunately. And I say this because I know there's a lot of those like single board computers. Well, my monitors stopped turning off, man. There's a lot of those like single board computer, like handheld devices that I've seen. Surprisingly, I don't think I've ever been asked to review one. I did talk with FrameRater about this before. I actually wouldn't really want to review one just because I'm not into those devices for whatever reason. Just not really into them. I kind of like taking original hardware, like, do it here, actually. I mean, I like doing something like this where I can take a Vita and modify it and then add the stuff to it, because typically also the base level of support on these systems, like the PSP or the Vita or even the 3DS or the DS in this case, they're going to be nicer. Then you have a pretty established homebrew community for the most part on there. This is a long way of me saying I would probably go with the Vita if I'm choosing something like that. If you don't want to get a Vita, the PSP right there. My preference, just because my own personal preference and weirdness, I would probably go with a PSP just because, again, I have such an affinity to that if I had to choose like one. But if you're looking for like quality and quantity, I guess, as well too, the Vita, the build quality is nice on them. They got a really vibrant scene. Vita games are actually really, really awesome. Vita games are great. There's tons of Vita Homebrew. There's tons of Vita Homebrew game ports on here as well too. You can also unlock the PSP emulator. You can then run PS1 games. You then have access to PSP emulators and PSP Homebrew as well too. So even though this is old, this is from 2012, I would still grab a Vita. That's me. But when it comes to any of those odd one-off single board computers, I don't really follow those, unfortunately. So here, we got another one from Infant Coma. Congrats, Mr. Mario. It's well deserved. Well, thank you. What would you consider to be an easy mod for anyone to get into modding? And what would you consider a difficult mod only the experience should do? Okay, easy mod. I need to... Where do I have this? I need to find it real quick because I need to show you all what this is. Okay, I am back. I ended up bringing a few things here. So, sir or ma'am, or what was the username? It was Infant Coma, I want to say. Yes, there we go. All right. You're wanting something easy if you're wanting to start off with stuff. Again, I'm going to have an affinity here, right? PSP. Super easy. You get a working PSP. Make sure it has a battery. You get storage for it. You copy and paste files. You're going to want to install Infinity with a custom firmware. It is super simple. You install Infinity. Then you install the custom firmware. Then you enable Infinity custom firmware. That's all you do. Easiest mod. If you're wanting something more modern, Vita. Thankfully, due to Hinlow, so much easier to get this done. You literally do it all on the system itself here. You need a working system, storage, and internet. That's it. If we're talking hardware here, I don't have a video of this yet. Well, actually, I'm looking off screen because I'm looking at my video schedule. So this video will probably be out by the time this one goes out. If you're looking for hardware mods, Game Boy. DMG Game Boy. The original big brick Game Boy. I pretty much, in my video on this, I pretty much make a whole love note about this because this is the first one I ever mod. This is actually my Game Boy right here. I don't have batteries in it. It works, okay? I physically don't have batteries in it. Either way, get one of these. This is what you want to do. If you're wanting to get into the world of hardware mods, I'm going to tell you, you get yourself a hopefully working Game Boy DMG model. It doesn't even have to look good. This is one that someone gave me, right? Because she knew that I was into modding Game Boys, and she actually sent this to me for free and just said, hey, I'm going to give it to you. The only thing I ask is do something cool with it. It might not work. It obviously doesn't have the front part right here. It doesn't have the back cover here. This is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to get one of these DMG Game Boys. Then you're going to want to get a whole kit for it, like a screen replacement kit, a reshell kit. This one actually has an IPS display on it. Do that. It's going to teach you everything about the process of hard modding. It's going to show you how to take apart a system. You're probably going to learn how to clean everything, how to actually put your buttons where they need to go, how keyed buttons work in that regard, doing a screen replacement on there, doing the whole reshell process. Even if you get one pre-cut or you have to cut it yourself, doing all that, it might even require a little bit of soldering. It gives you a bit of everything in that regard. So if you're trying to get into the world of hard mods and you're not really sure what all you want to do, get yourself a busted up Game Boy DMG, get a IPS screen replacement and reshell kit. Do that, and that is going to give you a little bit of a taste for everything, and you're going to figure out real quick what you want more of, what you like, and what you dislike. If you loved soldering, you can figure out where to go from there. If you loved the art of, doing the whole reshell kit and process, you can figure out where to go from there. Those are my recommendations. So I'm editing here, and I totally did not realize until now that I was so excited about that Game Boy that I forgot to answer the other side of this question that was in regards to some of the hardest mods. I have here on screen an example, which is an install of the Xbox HD Plus. And I would say anything that involves really adding an internal HDMI modification to an older system, such as the original Xbox or the original PlayStation with the PS1 digital,
digital or the N64 with, is it the N64 digital, I want to say? Pretty much any of those like pre-HDMI systems and performing a mod such as this here and adding internal HDMI to them, I would say those are definitely going to be more on the difficult, advanced, more experienced skill.
Zeeth has asked me here, congratulations, Mr. Mario, huge milestone. And again, thank you. My question is this: has your console modding experience influenced your professional career or choice of career in any way? I wouldn't really say choice of career in that regard. And for anyone who doesn't know, this YouTube thing, I do it on the side. I do it for fun. I call it a paid hobby, essentially. No, I do have a full-time gig outside of this. I do not rely on this full-time. I do not do this full-time. Don't have any plans to do it full-time. However, the channel has helped out with that as well, too. I will say, in regards to even just communication like this, learning how to talk into a mic, how to talk on camera, how to present myself more professionally. So I think a big part of it is really communication and soft skills, because that's something that a lot of people do need to work on. And even so, it's funny, I've run into several people who, they don't want to be on camera. They don't know necessarily how to work with mic, how to deal with one, how to talk into one. So those are things you would never really think of, but they do come up on there. Even with things as well too, just because of my channel, there's been people who, like, if I'm being interviewed or what have you, they will check out what I'm doing and this channel will come up and they kind of use it as like a psychological profile in a way of like, well, hey, if you were doing this, what would you do? Even to stuff like, I have quite literally had times where it's like, hey, we have a 1 hour meeting. We're going to be talking about this thing. We're going to be talking about you. We're going to be figuring this stuff out. And like 55 minutes of the meeting is about like audio, video production, video game console mods, just even there's been different stuff like ham radio as well too. Of course, anything technical on the computer. And like 5 minutes is like the thing that we were actually supposed to talk about. So again, I wouldn't say this has helped me choose a career that I wanted to go into, because I've always really had a rough idea of what I wanted to do. But when it's come to actually helping my career in some way, yeah, it definitely has. I will say this, if I could even offer some career advice to people. I'm sure there's a lot of people who they've wanted to start a YouTube channel. They've wanted to do something creative like this. Maybe it's not even a channel. It could be an art blog. It could be a photography blog in this example. Chase that. Do it. Of course, do it for fun. Don't try to like monetize right off the bat or something. And if it's something that is like somewhat professional that you would be okay with showing to people, put it down on your resume. And even if let's say you do a channel where you are discussing updates to a program that you like to follow on there and you have 200 subscribers, that is really going to make you stick out to people, because that shows like how you work outside of work, how your thinking is, what your abilities are. It shows a lot of that on there. So good to keep in mind. This isn't a question here, but Space Mouse just said, congratulations on hitting 200k subscribers. You definitely earned this. You're consistently putting out great content and the subscriber count shows. Looking forward to your future videos. I thanked you already, but thank you so much. I think another one here, let's see. Yeah, this one is not a question, but this is just kind of a comment, kind of a share on here. That Kiwi Gamer Punisher in ZL says, congratulations, Mr. Mario, well deserved. Thank you again. Your community appreciates all the hard work you do. I discovered you when I wanted to mod my NES and SNES. Since then, you have also helped me mod my PS Classic and a PS3 with Hin. I never thought I would be able to do any of that stuff myself, but your easy to follow videos inspired me to just give it a try, so I'm very grateful for that. I look forward to more from you in the new year. Again, thank you, and I'll also say this that I've said to many people who say something along the lines of that. That was you. My dude or my girl or whoever you are, like that was all you. Yeah, I put the video out there, but you're the one who followed it and copied and pasted the files and did it. Like, you did that, so give yourself credit too. Let's see, Adil S says here, your videos hold up and I watch them even when I don't have the system at hand. Your PS2 free McBoot video is what I still refer to even now. Well, that's really cool. Question: Well, what favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor? You kind of got me on this because I don't eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and it's nothing that I have against the ice cream. It's just I'm not really that much of an ice cream eater. I guess the times I do eat ice cream are like the times where I'm out with friends, I'm out at an event, I'm out with family, I'm out with my girlfriend, and we just like spontaneously decide to get ice cream. Or you go to Costco, you see some there, and it's like, oh man, there's like 30 bars of this delicious ice cream, and I know I'm gonna eat it all, but I'm gonna get it. So, and then you end up eating like 2 of them, and then everybody who comes to visit you ends up eating the rest, and it's fine because then you end up buying this and you didn't feel guilty. But I'm not talking from personal experience. Either way, let me look up Ben and Jerry's flavors to give you a somewhat possible answer. Again, I don't eat Ben and Jerry's. I don't have anything against it. I just don't really pick it up. But what the hell? I'm like missing out on this, I guess. Like there's Netflix flavors, and like I didn't know this. Like Chance the Rapper has a flavor. Okay. I I kind of have to base this right now on just like what sounds good to me. And if I was in a Ben and Jerry's ice cream shop or I just had every flavor available, like what I would get here, I would say honestly, because these are really good. I haven't tried the Ben and Jerry's ones, mind you, but cannoli, like that's what I want to try. I can't say it's a favorite, but like if you want me to try something, that's, you know what, if you're reading this, like what flavor should I try? Like a deal, let me know. Durf Jagged here, a friend of the channel and everything, he said, congrats man, do you have any dream gaming items you want to acquire or any dream projects you'd like to see completed by yourself or others? You know, maybe for a dream game item, the PSX DVR, that big chunky device. I'm not talking about the original PlayStation. I'm not talking about the PS1. I'm talking about the PSX, the thing that came out in 2003. The PlayStation 2 combined with the DVR that Japan only got. If we can get one of those, that like, if we can solve the PlayStation 2 hard drive encryption on there so we don't have to worry about it. If we can fix the faults on there so like we don't have to worry about overheating, we don't have to worry about the hard drive going out. Like if we can just drop in, like at this point, drop in like an SSD to replace the hard drive on there. If we don't have to worry about, the lasers burning up, or really just a PSX with like the issues fixed on there that is properly working. Oh my goodness, that is a dream system I would love to have. I think we're getting close. I really think we're getting close. I understand in current year 2023, we don't really have much of a desire for the optical drives on there, especially you don't want those things to burn out and die out and all that stuff. I get that. I'm one of those people, though, if I have an optical drive-based system, I want the optical drive to work. That's what I'm talking about, the lasers. Cooling mods on there to, deal with the cooling, that'd be cool. The hard drive's the biggest issue. The reason why I'm saying we're getting there is because the IDE emulator, I just covered this in mod chat, the IDE emulator, you can actually install one of those in the PSX. You can replace the hard drive. The problem is the IDE emulator itself, from like the same developer who did the 3DO optical drive emulator, it's $320 US. They are expensive. So that's probably my dream gaming item that I would want on there. And I guess like dream projects I'd like to see completed, I just talked for a few minutes about the PSX, and I think it would be that. I have wanted a PSX, like one that I don't really have to worry about, mind you. Before I didn't know about I've wanted a PSX since I first heard about it. I was like a young kid and I heard about this in like in official PlayStation magazine. I read about it, I heard about it through there. It sounded like the coolest thing. That's my dream. A PSX with all the issues remedied on it, and if I can have it, like, oof, that'd be cool. That'd be so cool. Dirtball said here, hello, your channel has been a big reason as to why my soldering skills are where they are now, but over time I've sadly killed some consoles. Have you botched any consoles over the years? If so, how bad was it? Hee hee. Thanks for everything you do, and I hope this year treats you well. Oh man, dude or dudette, yeah, I killed my childhood PlayStation. Like before the PSX thing, like my dream thing I wanted was a PS1 with a mod chip. I didn't have the soldering tools. I didn't trust myself to solder. I didn't know how to solder. I didn't know anybody who could. I didn't know any installers. This is 20 something years ago, right? And I had gotten a original PlayStation. It belonged to a cousin of mine, and an aunt had given it to me. Loved that thing. And I ended up, like, it was 2011 actually. I ended up buckling down. I was overconfident, honestly. I'd done some soldering in middle school for like a school project type thing. We had like a technology class, and like that was like one of the modules that you can do. Trust me, it when it comes to the soldering thing, it sounds it sounds more impressive than it was. It was very, very, very basic level soldering, but it gave me the visibility into it, and it also gave me the overconfidence, which that was not too great. So I had known how to take apart the PlayStation. I had taken apart like a few PlayStations. I felt kind of confident. I went to Radio Shack, rest in peace Radio Shack. I went to Radio Shack at the time, got solder, got soldering iron, I didn't get flux. I didn't know what flux was. I had rubbing alcohol. I didn't have isopropyl alcohol. Didn't even know what isopropyl alcohol was. I had rubbing alcohol. I had Q-tips. I knew the basics of like cleaning and taking apart things, mind you. And when I tell you, yeah, I tried to wire the PlayStation on, like the chip. I think it was like a Stealth 4 chip or something like that. I ordered it. It was this PIC chip that came wrapped in, what the hell was it? Electrical tape, and then it had these long wires, and I didn't trim the wires, and I didn't even know how to I didn't know how to not only trim the wires, but I didn't know how to strip them. So I was using a lighter, and I was just like pulling off, right? So it's like my wire's like this long. The exposed part of the wire is like this long, right? And I'm trying to solder it. I didn't know how. I had no idea the points on that console would be so small. So I'm like sitting there, right? I'm trying to get the wire and the solder onto the point, and it's like the solder's not sticking. It's not sticking. I think I ended up removing a component or two off the console. I think I actually got all the wires attached. I'm very generous with that. I end up getting the wires attached. And I don't remember. I don't remember what the issue was. When I hooked it up, I don't remember if it just didn't display any video output or if discs stopped spinning. I don't remember what it was, but that scared me so much, I didn't pick up a soldering iron for at least a year. Yeah, sounds about right. It was about a year later. It killed my confidence with hard mods, and that was my childhood PlayStation, and I was very disappointed. And that is why, a lesson here, I tell people, when there's people who look at my videos, like for example, perfect example is RGH3 for the Xbox 360. There's people who they look at that video and they're just like, oh wow, I've never soldered before, but this actually looks super easy. I'm gonna do it. Can you tell me all the parts I need? I tell them, do not do this. No. Because I've been in your position before, and the RGH3, is harder than the PlayStation that I worked on. And I know that most of the time, a person like that with that kind of attitude, and I'm not saying it in like a bad way, but I'm not trying to set them up for disappointment, is what I'm saying. I'm saying a person with that kind of attitude, you might mess up taking apart the 360, you're going to get it apart, you're going to have the same issue as me, you're not going to know how to flow the solder on there, you're going to probably be shocked at how small the points are, because in that video, I used a zoomy zoom thing. What the hell is it? Microscope. That's it. I used a microscope on there. You're going to be completely overwhelmed by how small the things are. Here is a little thing here. I don't know if y'all can tell. I don't have steady hands. There's nothing medically wrong with me. It's just I don't have steady hands. It's not like they're shaking like this or anything. If they were shaking like this, there'd be an issue. But for the most part, my hands are not steady. And people will probably learn their hands are not as steady as they thought either. So it's very easy to mess up something like that. So that's why I tell people, I'm like, hey, practice your soldering first. And you know what? Don't do what I did. Do not solder stuff that you care about first. Get stuff that you don't care about. You want to work on a PlayStation? Find a dead PlayStation and just solder random wires to it. You want to work on an Xbox 360? Find a Red Ring of Death Xbox 360. Same thing. Just get your practicing done on there. That way, you're going to learn how to solder stuff together, what's good, what works, what doesn't work, at what force even you break stuff. That's what I encourage people to do as well too. Actually break components off the motherboard so you know how it feels to like break something, so you'll say, okay, I'm not going to go with this much force on there. I know this is probably a much longer answer than what was provided on what was expected, I guess, but yeah, that's it. I had stuff to say on there. Daniel Boring just says here, love your content, love what you do. Thank you so much, Daniel. Very much appreciate it. Omelord says, congrats, Mr. Mario. It's well deserved. It's well deserved. I've modded every console in my house with your tutorials. Thank you. You're very welcome, Omelord. Retro Jack Gaming says, I always point people your way for modding. All my mods are basically what you have shown, mate. Keep it up. Thank you so much, mate. Malardo Peacecraft has asked here, in your opinion, what has been your favorite and least favorite videos you have ever made and why? You know, probably my favorite video. My favorite video probably has to be... I really like urban exploration. It's something I've always been fascinated with. I've always loved. I've always had an affinity for it before I even knew it was a thing, before I knew it had a label, it had a term attached to it. And I haven't done urban exploring in a while. For anyone who doesn't know, it's just like going into abandoned buildings, abandoned places and all that. One of my best friends, Bastin David, shout out to him, he said it best when it was like I was out with him and another friend one night, and I was like going to this old shop that I used to love, and I was just so excited by it, and my friend didn't understand it, and David just tells her, he's like, you don't understand. He is in me. He's like, he has nostalgia for buildings. You don't understand it. And I'm like, yes, that is a perfect way of putting it. So even I'm one of those people, I love, seeing where old Blockbusters used to be. I love seeing where old Circuit Cities used to be. Even though I don't really have like many like actual like memories of Circuit City. It's such an iconic building, you know. That's a long way of saying some of my urban exploration videos that I've done. Some of them on here, some of them not. Those are probably some of my favorites. Probably the one that's on here. There is a video called It Is What It Is, Urban Exploration. It was a compilation I did, like essentially a music video I did, where I took footage from several places that I had gone to. And some of them were cool. One of them was like an old like herbal flower shop. One of them was a old abandoned amusement park that like I literally drove into the middle of, recorded a bunch of video and everything, and I synced it up to music from Nothing Nowhere back there. Easily my favorite solo artist. Absolutely love that dude. He has a song. It's not available on like any official streaming services, but it's on his SoundCloud. An old song called It Is What It Is, and I synced it up to that. That was definitely one of my favorites. I know there was even some of the videos, like they haven't been released on there. There's like one video I did where there was another song that he did, and I had gone to an arcade where, I guess an arcade barcade, where shout out to Paranoid Coder, that was him, or Devin. Him and I used to go there all the time, and then just closed up randomly. And one day I drove by there, I checked it out, I just kind of recorded some video of it, and I made a music video, or I just kept it to like some friends. I made a music video to that. I cut it to a Nothing Nowhere song, and I sent it over to Devin, and he was just like, dude, I legitimately got sad watching that. He's like, it was good, but like I got kind of emotional watching that. So those are probably my favorite videos I've made, or like the types of ones. But if there's one like for public viewing, it's still up. It doesn't have that many views, but it's probably one of my favorites that I've done on here. It Is What It Is, Urban Exploration. I'll link it or something. Least favorite videos. And least favorite videos. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be stuff that I've deleted off the channel a long time ago. Um, I know what it is. I know what it is. There is one video, so like a long time, long time ago, before all of this, right? Still on this channel though. In high school, I had Video Productions 1 and Video Productions 2. I did my videos, and at the time it was this was kind of just a public archive for them. So I took those videos and I uploaded them on here. They're not on here anymore. But there's one video I did, which it involved myself and two friends, and it was a test. Like we had to do a green screen test essentially. Um, and it was like the most stupid thing. I think we were like 15 or 16 when we recorded it or something. But the green screen, it was this like green blanket, right? And I essentially like green screen like a cat onto this, and it was like this cat was like, it was a cat blanket, that was it. And I guess like something had happened and like the cat like died in this regard, and then like one of my friends was really sad and distraught over it, and the other one was just like, oh, it's just like a cat blanket type thing. And they have kind of like a makeshift funeral for it. It is like the most stupid thing possible. And it's not even like the premise is bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cringy, sure. But the green screen effects, I don't fuck with green screen. I don't fuck with chroma keys. I don't. I really don't. That might be one of the few times people hear me cuss, because I don't really cuss on here for the most part, but like that's how I feel about it. I'm sure it's better now in like 2023, but I don't do chroma key. I don't do any of that. I don't like it. And I didn't like it at the time either. So I pretty much just like got it done to get it done. I didn't make it good. I just made it to get it done. And it was just the effect was so jarring and it was so bad. And even when I showed one of my friends, like the friend who was in it, like as soon as you see the green screen effect, he was just like dying laughing, but like in like a cringe way. And even it's one of those, it's like, you know, when you make, let's say you make some piece of content, whether it's a song, a video, a piece of art of some kind, and like years later you kind of cringe a little bit at it because like, oh man, I could have done that so much better. Like, no. This was like, we were cringing before cringe was a thing. Like, it was like, by the time like the video was rendered, it's like, we knew it was bad. So that's probably my least favorite video I've ever made. Easily my least favorite video. Oh man. Let's see. Exit asks here, are there any hobbies you've wanted to get into but haven't had time to actually do it? Congrats on 200K. Thank you so much, man. Oh. Hobbies I wanted to get into but haven't had the time to do. I think maybe sometimes it's not even so much the time. It's more kind of like the means of it as well too. Like part of it is like a time sink, sure. But yeah, I think a part of it is also like, well, do I really want to start going down this rabbit hole? Do I really want to spend all this cash on this? Do I really want to do this? Like 3D printing, I kind of got into that several years ago. I got a printer set up. Completely different way of using my brain on there. Really cool. And then like pretty much the 3D printer just started really breaking down, and I was just getting frustrated with it, so I kind of just exited the hobby. I'm really thinking on here. Even like, I know development, like coding, I've done some stuff on there. I don't have much of a love for coding, but occasionally I'll kind of get that itch and I'll kind of get into it a bit. No, I think honestly, if I could think of anything, it's like really maybe like automotive repair. I've always had kind of, not even an affinity, I would say like an interest and a respect for like automotive repair and all of that. But to me, it's also kind of daunting as well too, because it's like, it's funny, people might see me and they're just like, oh yeah, you're ripping all these consoles apart, you're soldering little tiny small components to them. It's like, yeah, I'm like super comfortable with that now for the most part. Not everything, but for the most part I am. When it comes to cars, I think it's just the thing of like, I don't want to damage something big. Like, big. You know, I don't want to damage that. Meanwhile, I've described that to people, and they're just like, well, yeah, it's super easy to take apart. Like, oh, I messed up this speaker. But I think in my head, I kind of just go with like, well, if I mess this thing up, then what about, is this going to affect the rest of the car? I don't want it to do that. So there's almost kind of a little level of fear there. And I think it's one of those things, if I had like, if I really want to put a bunch of time into it, and especially, I think if I treated it like game consoles, like my game consoles, for example, you know, like the Game Boys, like I have two of these things here, right? The Vita, I have a couple of them. The PSP, I have a whole bunch of them. The Xbox 360, you know, when I was getting into that, I had a bunch of them as well too that I was messing around with and everything. If I had like multiple cars or something that I was just like had different various issues and I was messing around with and everything, and it was just kind of a fun thing, then sure, like maybe something like that. But also I'm like, I need the space for that. So I just have my one car, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to mess with that all too much. So automotive, maybe. Let's just go with that. Here's something I had kind of talked about at the top of this video here. So Bew Earns had said, I mean, dude is a staple of the modding community. Should be 2 million. No, I appreciate the sentiment, but no, we're good. Bring Me Joy-Con said, any update on the PS1 loader using the Pi Pico? Congrats, brother. Well, thank you very much. He's talking about the Picostation here, which actually, let me look into that real quick. I guess I'll give you an update here in regards to it. I'm actually, like, quite literally, I had to look up the Picostation on GitHub here. Let's see. It supports 2 models of the PlayStation so far. One of them is untested. It has audio CD image compatibility, Unirom image, and it says that some games may load. So you're able to assemble the QSBs and PCBs and everything for it, but it's in very early stages. So game compatibility I don't really think is the best right now, and really the only thing that it can really load up is Unirom. So there's your update. Versatile here from Project Phoenix Media has said, what is your favorite troll comments over the years? How many times have you read someone say the video is fake? Man, people have said my videos are fake whenever, whenever it doesn't work for them. It's not like a super common thing, though, you might notice. And honestly, it's one of those things, too, when people are saying, like, the video is fake, it's like, dude, they're views on there's all these people who are saying this, the video gets recommended and everything. Like, if you think it's fake, then like you do you, I guess. I'm not trying to go out of my way to prove this to you, because I already have the video uploaded on there. But just because it worked for you doesn't mean it didn't work for you doesn't mean it's fake. I think one of the favorite one funny one from that was, there was somebody who they said something along the lines of, this video is fake and it's really obvious, and maybe, dude, you should try and make it less obvious, because I'm looking at the comments here and there's overwhelmingly positive comments with everyone saying that it works. And like, dude, if you want to make it kind of believable, you should have some comments in there, some fake comments saying that this doesn't work. That would at least make it more believable, but this video is obviously fake. No. It's like, so that was like one of my favorite ones in regards to that. I think in regards to like a troll comment, I'm one of those people, I don't really want to necessitate or, you know, feed trolls or anything. So like, if I see someone's trolling, they're just gone from the channel. I'm not trying to deal with that. I don't want to waste my energy on that. I think one thing though, and I'm not going to get into like the details of the message, but it was essentially someone who, it was obvious that was like the only video of mine that they had seen. And I guess they saw, like, they'd come to this, like, they saw my channel art, and they came to the channel, and then they saw a video of me on there, they were commenting on this, and they were just taking, like, a lot of, like, pot shots at, like, how I looked. But then, like, this person who, like, obviously they don't know anything about me also tried to start taking, like, pot shots at, like, my social life and my personal life and everything. And it was very much, I could tell they knew absolutely nothing about me, because I kind of just looked at the comment like dumbfounded and was kind of smiling, because I was like, I'm blessed to be in a position where like literally every single thing this person is saying is the exact opposite of what's really going on. And I really think this troll is just like doing some crazy is it deflection on there where you're like, where you feel a certain way? I think that's it, like deflection, where it's like you're unhappy with yourself and I'm thinking of like an example, you're insecure with your weight, so you're calling people fat. It was something a lot like that.
Real quick, it was actually projection. Projection was the word that I was trying to project here.
But yeah, no, I think that was probably, I'm being vague about it on purpose, but it was very much one of those things where I was just like, this person knows like nothing about me, and like this is like almost a little too detailed to the point where like, my dude, like, please talk to someone. Please talk to someone. This is not a healthy way to live. That's like the one that really sticks out to me there. Dominic Druso says, congrats. Thank you so much. Modsville USA says, congrats on 200K, brother. Thank you, brother. Very much appreciate it. Rebug says, congrats, bro. That's because you earn it and you truly deserve it. I'm a big fan of you since the PS3. I've been watching almost all your videos. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Colonel says, cool. Congratulations. Thank you. Sir Quacks-a-Lot the First says, you earned it, mate. Making high quality content deserve reward. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Funny thing here. Amber Turd says, and I was with you on your channel back like in 2014 or whatever. I can't even remember. I even remembered your old intro and Gateway 3DS video, Cubic Ninja 2. Yeah, I did do those 3DS videos. So like, thanks for hanging out for what, damn near 10 years at this point. Jeez. Yeah, I did, for anyone who doesn't know, I did some 3DS videos on here, mainly during like the Flash Car era, and then I kind of started covering some stuff with ARM9 loader hacks, then got like a couple strikes, so I was taking down the videos, I was fighting them. I got the strikes overturned, thankfully, and they were community guideline strikes, but I got them overturned, and at that point, when they got overturned, I said, awesome, thank you, I'm deleting these videos, no more 3DS videos, I'm done. That's why I really don't cover, I don't cover the Switch, I don't really cover any of that other stuff. So when I saw like, even at the beginning when like all the Switch stuff was really taking off, all the Switch modding stuff, I didn't cover it. When I started seeing all the strikes flying, I started seeing all the videos getting taken down, I saw channels taken down, I was like, so happy I didn't cover the Switch stuff. All right. So yeah, but hey, for those people who remember the 3DS stuff, they remember the 3DS stuff. I think we're almost at the end here, so we got two more questions, right? TWH Trucks, I want to say, says, could you please do a Corona 4G pad repair? I'm not planning on it. For anybody who doesn't know, they're talking about here, they're in reference to the Xbox 360, the Corona motherboard. Some of them have a 4 gigabyte flash storage, or eMMC. I guess, yeah, flash storage on there as opposed to 16 megabyte NAND. And those pads can be kind of brittle, I guess. You got to be really careful with them when you're soldering the wires on. So I feel like you're asking me because you ended up damaging some pads, and if so, I'm sorry to hear. I'm sympathetic. I'm not planning on doing that, though. I guess that type of thing, like that type of, like, more specialized, I guess, trace repair and everything, I think there's people who cover it a bit better, but also, I thankfully haven't done any damage like that, like on those pads, and I'm not trying to damage any of my systems, so sorry about that. Very last one here from Soul Shock is, how about a PS5 giveaway? Well, first of all, PS5s are still kind of hard to find, a lot easier now, thankfully. Also, I'll just say no to this in general. I'm sure, they were just asking for the hell of it. I decided very early on, I know I'm giving a more detailed response than what's needed here, but I guess to me it's kind of important. I decided very early on the channel, before 99% of y'all were here, easily. I didn't want to do giveaways on the channel. I didn't want to base my channel with giveaways, because giveaway traffic is not high quality traffic. It's people who are coming in, they're coming just because they're glomping at the chance to, like, get something tangible for free, and then they, they'll be on their way. I saw a lot of people, like, way back in the day on YouTube who were doing a lot of giveaways to grow their channel, and I didn't really see it as a high-quality growth metric on there. If you wanted, like, that actual, like, success and, like, those subscribers to actually stick around and be active and such, I just didn't think that was a good idea. That is to say, like, it's not like I would never ever do a giveaway, but it's a lot harder to do in that regard. And I'll explain this by saying I've done a couple giveaways. I actually, back in the day, I gave away a lot of Project Spark access codes. Huge shout out to Project Spark when they reached out to me. They were super cool about that. Rest in peace to Project Spark. But like the first like game developer of some kind who reached out to me on that level, and they even said they really liked my videos and they liked how I explained things. Super cool. Even some people, get this, some people got their codes and their codes weren't working. And they reached out to me. They said it's not working. I reached out to Project Spark and they said give us their gamer tags and we'll get them sorted. And I passed that information over, and the Project Spark team ended up adding these items to their gamer tags. So just it's a little bit of an emotional thing for me, I guess, because they really showed me love early on in that regard, and it was just cool. I never expected that, and I thought Project Spark was really neat. Look it up, Project Spark on Xbox One. It's dead now at this point, unfortunately, but yeah. So there was that. Also, shout out to Charlie, or Max Admin from Cronus Max, the Battle of Cronus Max. Oh my God, that dude! I still have this right here. This little thing started it all on that regard. Oh my God. For anyone who doesn't know, I bought this like years and years ago, and then it didn't really work how I wanted it to, and then I wanted to upgrade it, and I paid for an upgrade, and I sent it off, and they ghosted me, and I never heard anything from them. And then like I recorded a video pretty much saying this company sucks and they're awful, and they took my money and they took my device, and I had to charge back, and I wasn't listening, like nothing on there in that regard. Like I couldn't get an email back from them, couldn't get a response, and then like in the middle of it they end up sending this back to me already upgraded, and then the Charlie, like the admin guy, he ended up like, apparently someone linked him my video, and he came on my video, and at first he was all like, oh yeah, you're spreading all the, like he was essentially insinuating I was lying and that they did all this stuff for me, and that it was like that it was unfair what I was saying to them. And then he watched the rest of the video because he was responding emotionally, and he's like, wait, this dude is right. Oh my God, we messed up. Oh my God. So then I had like a correspondence with him, and we started talking, and we hashed things out, and we did an interview on here, and dude loves to talk. But then he ended up facilitating a giveaway with me on here, and we end up giving away like 10 of like the Cronus Max bundles, like the mega bundles at the time. That was like $1,000 worth of product. Like big shot. He didn't have to do that. He didn't even have to give away a single damn thing, but you know, he helped out. I thought that was really cool. Either way, that's a very long way of saying I've always been the type of person, if I'm doing a giveaway of some kind, I want to reward people who are like engaged with the content, watching the content. So it's like, even if I do a giveaway, I'm not going to like advertise it like in the video itself. It's very much going to be a thing of like, I'm not doing a giveaway here, but like you'd watch a video like this, and it could be really kind of unrelated, and then I decide to do a giveaway in it, and you're just like, oh my God, I can enter in this. Like I would kind of do it as a surprise or something like that. Unfortunately, a few years ago, I think because of some FTC regulations and also YouTube kind of responding to all of that, YouTube now, they're a lot more stringent on giveaways, to the point where like they can strike down your videos, strike down your content, strike down your channel if you are not doing giveaways properly. To me, it was already a decision of like, you know, I'm not really into the giveaway thing. I'm not really doing it. I'm not really relying on that. I do know there's YouTubers out there who do giveaways. But just because of the whole YouTube thing, and because I'm not really crazy about that to begin with, I'm just like, you know, I'm just not going to do giveaways on the channel. Let's make it easy. And to be clear, I've actually had several offers for things. I've had friends, I've had even companies, they've offered, they said, hey, well, maybe you could do a giveaway of this. Hey, do you want to do a giveaway? Do you want to host it? And I just say, no, I really appreciate the offer, but just because of the way YouTube operates and because of the platform itself, I will not do a giveaway at all. And then it's kind of disappointing, but whatever on there. That's still a long way of saying, no, dude, I'm not doing a PS5 giveaway, just because also, it's not only just like, you know, expense with it, but it's, I got a lot of people on here who've subscribed. At this point, over 200,000, thank you. And it's kind of like a crazy thing to me of like, I don't know, I kind of feel bad in a way of like, really, like only one of the people's gonna get a PS5. I've given consoles, I've given, just like things to people and stuff, and it's like friends of mine, people I have rapport with, and typically, like, if I'm gonna give something to someone, I'm gonna give something to someone. Um, it's kind of how I roll in that regard. Wow, this has gone on a lot longer than I expected, but this is fun overall. Um, I did want to share one thing here. Not only just kind of wanted to say, a final thank you to everything. Lily's just kind of, look at that dog. She's so cute. Oh my God. She's just doing her own thing there. I did want to share this message though. I'm not going to say who this is, but there was somebody who ended up reaching out to me and they had sent a direct message my way. And here, I'll just read off. They said, "Hello, sorry to bother you. I'm not expect any message back. I just want to thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for all tutorials and help for all modding community, especially videos on YouTube. My brother died a few years back. He took his own life. And I've been in terrible condition after his death. And your videos helped me a lot because I start modding consoles. To not be alone with my thoughts and do something, thank you." It's like, I never expected to get a message like that, and I never expected to have that impact on someone. And the fact that, like, just things I'm doing here for just stupid stuff. That's kind of how I dismiss it at times. Like, just silly, stupid stuff I'm doing here for fun. If it can help out people like that. I've also seen some people say, I don't have like the direct messages pulled up, but even like people I've seen them, they've said, I've helped out, someone else who they're injured or something, or they've helped me with dealing with this or what have you. I don't want to share too much else on that, if people are if they want to, keep things private to themselves, but it's kind of, it's as you can see, it's like it kind of choked me up. It kind of messed me up a little bit because like I never would have expected that. I don't even know what I can say. That's better than any thank you. Just knowing that this can have that kind of positive effect on someone, especially because I'm sure people watching, you might have been there, and I've been in dark spots like that. Like, my life's not perfect. My life is, I'm blessed for what I have for sure, but I don't think a perfect life is very rewarding either, because to enjoy the true ups in life and to enjoy the highs, you got to experience those lows. You got to experience the down points. Nobody asks for down points, sure, but you got to roll with the punches. This is why I actually saved this to the end, because I was like, man, I when I saw that message, it messed me up, and I was like, in a good way, don't worry. Like, if you're the person who sent me this, if you're reading this, like, it's, don't worry, in a good way, like in a heartfelt way, not in like a ruin my day way. I guess I just wanted to share that on here, though, for kind of a special thing to anybody who's made it to the end here. I know very much ramble. This has gone on a lot longer than it's needed to, and I apologize for that. But if the videos I do are able to affect even one person like that in a positive way, that's just the coolest thing. So thank you very much for hanging around all these years, or even minutes or hours or days or weeks. Thank you. Seriously. It means a lot, more than I could ever put into words. I'm a pretty normal person for the most part. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a pretty normal person for the most part. I might know a little more than like the average person when it comes to like the Xbox 360 or something, but I'm a lot like you watching this. I'm trying to find a good way of finishing this here. Any other ways, any other parting words of wisdom I have, I suppose. A lot of people, and I hinted at this a little bit, a lot of people, they want to do some kind of artistic endeavor, some kind of creative endeavor, whether it be music, whether it be Instagram, like, I know it sounds silly, but like photography, you know, whether it be having like a Twitter presence, whether it be doing funny, silly, serious videos covering any sort of topic, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it might be. Do it. You don't have to make a career out of it. You don't have to make a business out of it. You don't have to get 10,000 viewers on every single thing you do. You don't have to get 10,000 subscribers or followers or whatever. But try it. Life is too short to not do whatever the thing that you've kind of always wanted to do is. At least give it a shot. That's something that has kind of helped me in a lot of ways, not only like professionally, but even personally as well too. There's just times where I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. It might not make the most sense. There could be a risk here, but you know, I would rather take this opportunity, chase it through to the end, and even if I flub it, or even if it gets flubbed somehow, I'll know that I did it. I'm not going to be, whatever the opportunity is, I'm not going to be sitting here 4 years later questioning, well, what if I did that? Well, what if I agreed to that, you know? So I think that's like the final thing I can kind of impart to people just with anything. And it's not even like creative stuff on here. I'm even talking like asking someone out, you know, like, even like personal stuff like that as well too. Give it a try. That's it. I've really recorded a lot here, but that's all I have. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I know it went on for a while, but I want to talk a lot. I do, you know, my podcast where I do Mario's Minute, where I kind of talk a little personally on here, but this is also kind of personal, you know, human to human in that regard. I guess, well, there's a screen between us, but it's more personal, like on camera content than I've done in a while. So this is also fun to do, and I thought it would be fun for the occasion. Anyways, this Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Thank you all very much for the 200,000 subscribers. It's unbelievable. It really is. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated. If you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well too. I get slow, yeah, my glass house,